Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you haven't been here before. This is a channel dedicated to Pokemon cards mainly, and I primarily look at illustrations and artists. And today we are looking not at Mitsuhiro Arita, we are looking at this artist who first appeared in the magazine Illustrator in 2021, and they are called, well, I call them Gemi, but they may be pronounced Gemi. It's G-E-M-I. As it says down here, and they did this fantasy card that doesn't actually exist other than in this magazine. Well, not that we know of, maybe there are copies of it printed somewhere that they're keeping for themselves, but it's a very beautiful image of Suicune, and made a big impression when it appeared in this magazine of 2021. The first card they actually did for the Pokemon TCG that we can actually have came in December of 22 in V-Star Universe, when they did the Glaceon V-Star artwork for V-Star Universe, which is just a beautiful card. It's a textured holofoil, and is a beautiful, beautiful piece of artwork. Very memorable card. Just stunning. So that was the first card they did. The next two were these two here, which are Floatzel and Gogoat, that came out in Scarlet, or in Scarlet and Violet in English, but in Scarlet of Japanese, in January of 23. And I think the Floatzel is very nice. I think the eye is a little bit manic, but other than that, the light coming down in shafts through the water, beautifully done, and I love the composition of that one actually. Very nice. The Go-Go's a little bit less interesting, but it's still very beautifully done. Got real atmosphere and strong light from the side, and we can't see the light source, but you can get the sense of it by the shadows on Go-Goat. Beautiful card. All their cards are beautiful. And that was in January of 23. Then they had several cards associated with 151 in June of 23. They were given the Spearow Fearow line. So well, actually we'll look at the non-holofoils because you can see the image better. I think the Spearow is very successful. I love the translucent light in the background, the mistiness of it, and the shadows across Spearow. Very beautifully done card. I've always quite liked Spearow. I've never liked Fearow. I think Fearow is a stupid looking Pokemon, and I don't particularly like this card. I mean, they've done an adequate job with it, but yeah, the only people who I think do Fearow well are people like Kawaii, who have that sort of crazy angular manic quality, which kind of fits. I mean, Fearow's neck is just so bizarre, and their bill and their crest, and the whole design of the Pokemon is so bizarre. Give me a Pidgeotto any day, or a Pidgey, or Pidgeot. Right, so this is probably their most well-known card, which was also on 151, which was the illustration rare for Poliwhirl. Absolutely stunning card. Universal acclaim for this card. The French Impressionist approach to the lighting of a cityscape at night, reflected in water. You can just see the street lights in the background at the top here, but the majority of the card is all the reflection of what we can't see of the city and the lights reflected below Poliwhirl, and Poliwhirl looking down at its own reflection. It is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, very French Impressionist. So that is a nice card. But there was also one other card associated with 151 that Gemi did, which was this little Squirtle, which isn't the Squirtle from the main set, but it's the promo that came with the card file boxes that came out at the same time, I think. I can't remember what the product was, but they were these additional, the 3 starter Pokemon that one could get, and Gemi was given Squirtle, and that's just lovely. It's very sweet. And just, they are such a talented artist. This background is immaculate. It's just lovely. So the next card they had was Fuecoco. Now this came out in Japan in the Skeledirge EX starter set of September 23. It's in Paradox Rift, not as a holo in English. But the Japanese got a holo version, and that's just lovely. I mean, not Skeledirge. Fuecoco was by far the most popular starter of the three. Certainly before the game came out, there was a lot more hype about this one. And it is a lovely little derpy Pokemon. Beautiful piece of artwork. The next card was Lapras. And this was in Raging Surf of September 23. And Lapras is where the tide is washing on the shore, I guess, here, because it's not deep water, this, because Lapras wouldn't be sitting so high on the water. But this is beautiful, and I think it's supposed to represent the lighthouse at the beginning of the game in Scarlet and Violet in the distance. So I think are we over where Nemona's house is with the beach court? Or I don't know. Yeah, but that is beautiful artwork. There are so many good Lapras cards. I'm not going to collect Lapras. It's too expensive. But that is a lovely... I mean, the background is amazing. Incredible work has gone into that background. Just so subtle. The next one is a weird one. I have to include it in the video because it's still a Gemi card, and it's oddish, and there's no Japanese print. There is only English print, and it's a nice enough card. It's the most simple of the cards that I'm showing you today, but very lovely representation of Oddish with strong light falling on his face. Summer's day. The reason this is a peculiar one is it's from My First Battle, which was released in September of 23 in English. You can't use these obviously because the backs aren't proper backs, but it's a beginner's children's set of cards, and it has unique artworks. So yeah, an oddity in Oddish, an odd card. And then the final card we've had so far from Gemi, and I'm sure we'll see many, many more through the years because they are so popular and so good, is this Reuniclus, which came out in Wild Force of January 24 this year, and has just come out yesterday in Temporal Forces in English, and it's just beautiful. I've always liked Reuniclus as a Pokemon. Doesn't get a lot of attention, but it's quite fun in the video game as well. But this is beautiful with this fluid wave wrapping around, suggesting some sort of psychic manipulation, I guess. Amazing artist. So those are all the cards so far. There's 12, but one of them doesn't exist at all, and one of them isn't a tournament legal card. So I guess there are 10, I would say. And they are a very talented artist, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do in the future, because there are so many possibilities for what they could be painting, and everything they've done has really been so excellent. I hope you appreciate that, and if it's made you appreciate Gemi more, then get out there and start collecting.